Ladies and gentlemen, we may have spoken a little bit too soon when it comes to buffs to the mage class. On top of this, berserkers might be pretty happy soon. My name is Derailious, welcome back to Skyblock News, and let's launch right into it. So the main point of this video is a post made by Flare on the forums in which they state, quote, "To everyone else that's complaining about melee being way underpowered compared to mage, yes, that's a valid concern to the extent of Wither Impact being a busted ability. We'll get around to looking into how we can make Wither Impact not ubiquitous and overbearing, whether by heavily buffing melee stats, nerfing the Wither Impact ability itself, or both." Now, in my opinion, the best thing that they can do for Wither Impact is actually not really touch it at all. Buff other things around Wither Impact, things like melee stats, in order to be on par with it. For certain situations, I feel like Wither Impact isn't actually super overpowered like they're making it out to be. It falls off pretty hard once you get into things like Master Mode, and I would really like to see a huge melee buff in order to make those classes a lot more viable, and that does seem like what they want to do. I don't think that just nerfing Wither Impact will be the solution here, because doing that makes a lot of things in the game much harder without much of a change to any other class, which I think really misses the point of why people go for mage so much, especially in lower level dungeon content. They go on to state, quote, "It's not such an easy change to make though, as there are plenty of use cases for Wither Impact that we would have to account for before rolling such a change. And for players wondering about Terminator getting nerfed, we were fiddling with ways to stop players from having to auto-click to maximize the potential of Terminator. We will be reverting the 1 second cooldown to a 0 second cooldown, which is the live behavior, as we haven't found an adequate solution without occasionally bricking Terminator's shooting. I think this is also a fairly good revert. I don't think that this needed to be done, although obviously trying to come up with solutions to prevent people from cheating is always a good thing. I completely understand and agree with the goal of having a lot of different potential ways to play this game, especially with regards to combat, and I do agree that right now things like Wither Impact make other classes irrelevant. However, the solution is not nerfing things, it is buffing other things. Making sure that other classes can compete with Wither Impact is a very noble goal, and I hope they succeed in doing so. However, the best way to do that, once again, is to make sure that those classes can see the light of day by buffing their stats considerably. It'd be really cool to see actually more emphasis be placed on a balanced game, which I think is really nice to see. I would also love to see them potentially do a Dungeons Pass, in which they kind of go through and see if they can solve any of the issues with scaling. I ran a poll just recently talking about the scaling in Dungeons, and about 95% of people, maybe a little less, around 93%, said that there were some issues with dungeon scaling, and I think that really goes to show that there are significant issues there that can be ironed out. At the end of the day though, my name is Derailious, thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and look to the future fellas, because I will see you then.